So if your story sounds like everybody else's, then the only thing that your client is really going to care about is price. And if your price isn't cheaper than everybody else's, they're not even going to care about you. And if your price is cheaper than everybody else's, well, you may not be getting paid what you're worth. And that's why today on the podcast, I'm joined by Aaron Horner, who is our...
Hi.
Oh, you say hi. Go ahead and say hi.
I'm here.
He's here. You may not be able to see him if you're listening, but he's here. Aaron Horner is our videographer...
Supreme.
Videographer Supreme. And he's probably he understands story the best of anybody at this company, definitely. And so we're going to talk a little bit about what the story can do for your company and what it means to your company and why it's important. What do most contractors think telling a story means?
Yeah. So I've been at CGN for 5 years, and the first 2 I was just working on our YouTube and stuff, and then the last 3 just about have gone around and made videos for specific contracting companies all over the country, like our clients. And more and more, I mean, even as opposed to 3 years ago when we started doing videos for people, I keep hearing people say the word storytelling, and like it's kind of like a buzzword that people are throwing around. And
Yeah.
I don't think people even know what they mean. I think it's kind of going around in our circles right now. People see the word, they see people talking about it. Maybe they're reading books about it. Like story brand is a big one. But I think a lot of people think a story is, I need to sit down and both for myself and in my testimonial say like, hi, my name is this. I used to do this, and then I started my company at this date, and then just list a bunch of different facts about their life. And then if they do that enough, then somebody will come and be like, oh, I know this person's story. I like them now. Therefore, I'll buy from them. And it's just not how it works. It's a very overly simplified view of storytelling, and I think it's causing people to like blend in, be generic, and ultimately costing them money.
Which is ironic because when storytelling became a thing for like marketing purposes, it was like that's how you became unique.
Yeah.
That's how you were different than your competitors.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think originally people were doing it right, and then they would tell other people, hey, you need to start doing storytelling. Like, hey, have you seen what's happening with social media right now? Have you seen how content is changing? People are liking storytelling. Like YouTube just put out an update not too long ago about YouTube Shorts. They made them now 3 minutes, and YouTube specifically said, we encourage you to do storytelling. Like this specifically is going to be the thing that keeps people hooked. Like, it just seems ubiquitous that people are using this word storytelling and not knowing what it means.
So an About Us page is very big for websites, contractors. So they have like dates on there. So it's, started in 2007, right?
Yeah.
So why doesn't that mean anything to like a homeowner?
Yeah, but well, you got to think about it like this. Like, a lot of times people will put on there like founded at this date or so many years in business. But
established 3 generations.
Yeah, and because they're proud of it, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But you can't start from there. You have to think about it from your client's perspective first, because you have to think about what storytelling is, okay, is it's not you listing a bunch of facts. It's storytelling in general is a series of events and facts and yeah, I guess events and facts that when combined form a single message. And so you have to think about maybe putting on there when you were established is important, but you need to bolster. Is that a word, bolster?
It is a word.
You need to bolster that with additional.
Like to make stronger.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I nailed it then.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. You need to bolster that with additional testimonials, copy, and proof that you are the trusted source. Like if that's what you're going for, you need to make sure that everything you're talking about tells the story of we are the long-standing company in our area. Or maybe what you're doing with the 2007 thing is everybody else in your area has been around for 50, 60 years. Like Primary Glazing was a company we did, a glass manufacturer.
Out in California.
And the glass industry out there was like like on its third generation. Like everybody there, it's like their grandfather had done it. It changed a bunch, but our company primary was like kind of the newer people in the business, if I remember correctly. And so maybe that now founded in 2007 is your differentiator to say that you're new, not that you're old.
Yeah.
So you can't just have a single fact like that and not know what you're saying. You have to start with what's the message that people need to hear.
And it's crazy is that they were the new people in the business.
Yeah.
But they weren't that new.
No.
I mean, they had been in business, like 25 years or something?
Yeah, but in that area, that was new. And to them, after we talked with them and went through all their differentiators, we found out like, oh, okay, so the important thing about you guys is you're business to business. You aren't working directly with homeowners. Like they were working with large scale builders and like skyscrapers and that kind of stuff. The important thing is that you have all these new methods of doing things. And it's not just like, hey, we do the tried and true, but it's like we're available to think outside the box kind of a thing. And so that tells a completely different story.
So is there anything that you're seeing that are like common, like things to stay away from in that sense of like storytelling on your About Us page?
Yeah. It's the random list of facts. So this goes for, because the other thing that people think about when they think about storytelling is testimonials. And we can get into that more as we go. But like people make 7-minute long testimonials and their About Us page will be, 5 paragraphs long. You don't need all of that detail. What happens is you think, here's a cool thing to list off. Here's a good thing to list off. Here's a good thing to list off. Like this, these are a bunch of good separate facts that kind of support like we're a good company.
Yeah.
But then all you are is a generic good company. What you need to do instead is start with the context of who are you speaking to? Who's your target client? And what do they want to hear? Like what can you provide in your market that's different? Because if you can't tell quickly your story of like that primary glazing example, the story for them is not, this is the year we were founded. This is the names of our, the founder and his wife, and here's our children, and here's what we like to do on the weekends and stuff. The clients didn't care about that. The story was, in our market, the glass industry is dated and aging. We are the new alternative. That's the story that they're telling. So then our videos, our copy on the website, the About Us, the testimonials, all need to tell that same story.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by storytelling. It's not once upon a time I started this company because I tried this one thing and I didn't like it, and I tried this and I liked it, but then I quit and did that. That's just a list of details.
Right. So what would you say is the like risks of having your About Us page essentially like about your story about you rather than your clients?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest risk is that, because everybody does this, is that you list all of the good things about your company without, it's one of those things where people try to appeal to everyone and everything, and as a result, they end up appealing to nobody. So if you can't...
It's kind of like a lot of Apple TV shows.
I maybe, yeah. It's not Severance.
Not Severance.
I only saw that one.
Not the good ones.
Yeah.
But they put out a lot of TV shows that are trying to hit every demographic so that everybody can watch it and hit a wide range. And
that's why nobody's ever heard of Apple.
Yeah. And the Apple, that's 100% why, people don't buy their phones.
Yeah, that's why Apple's not a relevant company.
Machines.
Yeah. If you can't pick a single topic to discuss, like if you can't differentiate yourself in some way, because what's happening in the homeowner's mind is they're thinking in their head in the context of a story. Like that's just how everybody thinks. And if they can't get a single idea for you're this option, like that primary glazing example, they're the new option, and that makes sense to them, then they just think, then they'll make up their own story about you. They could say, this looks like a regular contractor, or maybe this looks like a chaotic contractor. He's kind of struggling. He's trying to make it work. But honestly, the biggest differentiator is how much does he cost? And so that's what they'll keep going back to if they can't come up with a better reason to pick your company.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, people buy from people they like or their friends.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like influencers. Like they want to follow somebody who they consider as a friend.
Yeah.
So if I have no emotional ties to a company, it really just comes down to, okay, are you cheaper?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you going to cost more? Like, if you're going to cost more money, there needs to be a reason why.
Yeah.
And one of those reasons can be that I do like your story.
100%. And like, you seem to be the perfect fit for my problem.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is, what that means is, and you guys have heard this stuff before. I mean, this is essentially the same thing as niching down and differentiating. Like, it's applied in different ways once you go down the line and talk about how does it apply to your website copy, how does it apply to your featured project pages, how does it apply to your testimonials, your About Us video. That's when you can get into storytelling. But it's basically the same thing of you have to decide what you are and what you aren't.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't do that for people, they'll decide for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So what about bad storytelling? Like, how can that hurt you while you're trying to upsell or market?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly that. It is, you will always be playing the price game until you can decide what you are. And so that's scary for people. And I'm not a contractor myself. Like, so I don't understand the fears of that.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that is I've seen a bunch of contractors and I've gone to a bunch of different people. I've talked to people all over the country, and the same thing is like, well, if I niche down, I'm limiting who I can sell to.
Yep.
And I need the work.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like, that's fine. And you can do that game, but then you'll just be a generalist and then you will play the price game. And that, for some people, I think that maybe is their sweet spot. Like, and that's okay. Maybe that's where you're at for the time being. But don't trick yourself or have split goals. Like, if you're going to be the value contractor, do it. Like, go for it. Make sure that's your thing then.
Mm-hmm.
You
have to own it.
Yeah, 100%. You got to love it.
You got to love it.
You got to love it. So don't try and be everything, or else you'll just end up being nothing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you're already got an About Us page, if you're listening right now, you've already got an About Us page. Check your story. Are you falling into some of these faults? Are you telling a bad story? Do you just have a list? Double check that and make sure that you're not one of those people telling a bad story.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. And remember again what that story is. It's not a series of events. It's a series of relevant events that, when put together in the right order, tell a single message. Like, that's what a story is. Mm-hmm. Everything else gets lost. It gets forgotten. It gets weeded out. But stories are, forget all the relevant details. Here's the important things.
Yeah, and if you haven't read or listened to StoryBrand either, that's also a great one to go look at. I enjoyed it. It's very simple in the way that it delivers its message, but you'll sit there and listen and think, "Oh man, I already knew this stuff, but I didn't connect it really." So it seems obvious, but it's I found it to be quite a bit helpful when trying to tell stories.
100%.
So moving on to, like, what does effective storytelling actually look like, right?
Yeah.
So what does a real story look like in a remodeling company?
Real story. So, like, Integrity Home Pro is an example of a client that we went out to, and he knew his story.
Maryland.
Yeah, he was faith-based contractor. He worked for a contracting company. I mean, this is a lot of people's story. Like, he worked for a contracting company, didn't like the way it was run.
Yeah.
Then
he said they did a lot of sketchy deals, which just made him feel morally, or made him feel bad on the inside.
Exactly. And so he felt led to start a company and call it Integrity Home Pro. Mm-hmm. And so what we then did is went through in his About Us page and his story, we tell that story, knowing we're specifically reaching homeowners that are concerned about getting taken advantage of. Like, that now becomes his main selling point. It's you can show the quality of work through the photos. Obviously, you need to do good work. But the main thing that his clients are going to be concerned about, ideally, is can they trust him?
Yeah. And that's a huge thing in the contracting world. You're going to have people in your home for so long, and you're going to pay so much money, and there's so many bad stories and bad experiences out there with anyone remodeling. Yeah. That's like the number one thing that you hear. Like, can I trust this contractor? Does he do good work?
100%.
I got picked up. It's not only in contractors. This is a little off, but I was getting my car worked on.
Ooh, a little personal story.
Yeah.
Oh,
like personal stories. Yeah.
Good.
So I was getting my car worked on a couple weeks ago, and I had an Uber driver pick me up to to go and take me home while they worked on it. And
Good.
the first thing they said to me is like, I didn't know this was here. Do they do good work? And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretty nice. And she stopped me. She goes, do they do good work? Like that's literally,
okay.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, well, I guess I never thought of it that way, but yeah, they do. Like that's why I keep going back to them.
Yeah.
But it's kind of odd that my first thing was like, I like the people, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just a little anecdote. A little
I
side
loved
note.
it.
Yeah,
I
you
loved it.
Yeah,
it was a good pattern interrupt.
Yeah, I'm really good at storytelling.
No, you're so good. And so, okay, so that's a good example of like a classic story.
Mm-hmm.
Another example is next week we're traveling out to a deck builder, right?
Yeah,
Renaissance. And the specific story for his company is he's kind of a lone man operation. Like this isn't a massive company. You're going to go in and like it's going to be very pristine on how everything is laid out and timelines and all that. This is going to be, you have one man who's fully committed to your project. He's going to be doing specialized work. It's like artisanal, like you're getting a very specialized guy to do it. His name's like Michelangelo.
Yeah,
so it's
which makes the company name so much better, you know?
Renaissance. So then the story for his company, like if you weren't thinking about it, you would go in and in these testimonials, you would say he does quality work. You know, if the client says anything about he gets it done on time, let's go ahead and include that. If they talk about like just enjoying him as a person, let's include that. If we really like all this stuff, like let's list all those details. But the thing that we will fail if we don't get across is like when you're hiring this company, you are hiring Michelangelo. People connect well with him and he really cares about your project. Like he does incredible artisanal. Yeah, that's it.
I'm pretty sure that's a word.
I'm using big words today.
Yeah.
He uses artisanal work.
He does.
He uses. Now I've goofed it. I've goofed it entirely. The main thing is you're getting him and he's going to personally work and care about your deck. You're getting a specialized professional to work on your project.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a great fit for everybody. Some people want you to get in and get out quick. They want their deck done. Some people like the idea of hiring one person. They have a good relationship with him. They know that they'll be top priority. So that's the story that we need to tell for his company. And that is another good example of entirely different from Integrity Home Pro.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, like equally valid. You just have to figure out what your niche is and make sure there's a market for it in your area.
Yeah. I mean, so it sounds like you really have to understand who you're selling to.
100%.
Right? So you have to find out who you're selling to. Who do you want your ideal client to be?
Yes.
And then design your story. That kind of sounds bad to design your story around that. But like your story is what it is. It's just how you deliver that story.
100%.
Right?
Well, and you have some wiggle room. Like there are things you can decide you want to specialize in. You know, I mean, like you probably have a few different things going for you. Like I imagine if you're listening to this podcast, you're thinking in your head, well, maybe we could specialize in this way, or maybe we could specialize in this way. Well, one of the things that can help you make that decision is what does your market want? Like what is there a need for? Where are there gaps in the market?
Yeah.
Wes McDowell is somebody that I follow on YouTube. He has a good video on ChatGPT. If you don't know who your ideal client is, you don't know how to figure that out. Like previously, you'd have to hire a big marketing company to do a bunch of market research.
Yeah, and it would take forever too.
Yeah, and it costs a ton.
And it'd be very expensive.
If you're listening to this right now, pay the $20 for the first month of ChatGPT where you can get deep research. Have it do deep research on you and your competitors. Feed it all of your reviews. Feed it some of your competitors' reviews. Get a good understanding of your market. You can feed it the demographic data of your ideal locations, and ask it to help you create an ideal client. Like figure out what's their demographic data, like where are they located, how old are they, what's their income level, that kind of stuff. But then also stuff like their psychographics, what are they worried about, what are their fears, what are their goals, what is their main problem, why are they hiring you, and what are their values.
And that's huge pain points.
Yeah.
Right?
So then once you do that, once you figure out who you're talking to, then deciding what your story needs to be makes such a big difference. Like it's so much easier at that point as soon as you know who you're talking to.
So now that we know who we're talking to, how do we make the story more about them, less about us?
Yeah, so it's just a matter of going through it. It's like an empathy thing. It's understanding this is who they are, this is what they need, here's their main problems. How can I fit into that? And it's not, here's one of the things I wasn't even going to bring up because it's like, I feel like I've talked about it. Yeah, I probably never mind. I'll skip that.
Yeah, just skip that part. Yeah.
I guess to me it seems rudimentary, but it's not for a lot of people. So you also have to remember when you're doing storytelling and that kind of stuff, you are not the hero.
Yeah.
Story brand goes into that a lot. It's your client. Think about it from their perspective. They are the hero of their own story. They have a problem that they're facing right now.
Everyone's the main character in their own eyes.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
And so they're not going to hire another main character. What they want is a guide to help them with their problem. So you have to go through and think about what's the problem they're really dealing with. Like if you do kitchens or something, like most of the time what it is they are, maybe it's social pressure, they're embarrassed, or a lot of times the stories we go with is they have a big family event coming up.
It's not practical to use.
Yeah.
Like they that a lot.
Sometimes it's like empty nesters. We want to have, the grandkids and everybody come back. Sometimes it's like, hey, we just moved and for the first year we're hosting Thanksgiving here. Think about those things. And then within that story, think about how you come in and help. But you don't frame it as like, we're the best company and we do this and we do this and we do this. It's like, you need these things. We can help you along with that.
Yeah.
And so that will change your testimonials from just being a list of the client saying good things about you and how they found you and what they like about you. And most of our testimonials now is, here's a summary of our big problem. This is what we were trying to deal with that hopefully aligns with a bunch of other people in the area. And here's how they came in, helped us, and here's all the things we love about our new space now. Like all the problems we listed at the beginning, boom, here's how it's fixed, here's how we're loving it now. And then something at the end of like 100% we'd recommend them, or we love them so much we're using them again for this project. Like that's the very simple outline for a testimonial, how to use that.
And who does this really well is Rainy.
Me.
Oh, you?
Yeah. I did.
That's right. Yeah. You started this as you're not a contractor.
Yeah.
You're not a remodeler. But yes, you.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. No, Rainey Blair Weidman does a great job of this, right? So, and they were, Peter Rainey was just on the last episode. But their whole thing is that they come in and a lot of people will have I need to remodel my kitchen for one reason or another. And it's not that a lot of remodelers will come in and it's like, okay, let's just remodel this. Peter Rainey and, Dan Weidman, they come in and they actually find out what the problem is. What are you going to use this for? What are your actual pain points? Now, what is the solution of that? We're not just remodeling your home or your kitchen. We are solving a problem.
100%.
If we don't solve that problem, then, you get this new kitchen, you spend a lot of money on it, and you still have that issue, right? You still have that problem. And what he was saying is a lot of times you come in and you think you just need a new kitchen. It's like, no. You need a new kitchen. You need to remodel your mudroom, your den.
Well, you have to think about the functionality. One of the things I remember while we were out with Rainey Blair was him talking about
down in Georgia, Roswell.
Yeah.
I'm going to name I'm going to name where we were each time.
Okay. He would say like let's say a lot of people, they want a spot to put like their shoes and their jackets where they come in, and then some client will come to them and say, hey, we want to put it right here. And he's like, well, that doesn't work because if you put it right there, the door opens and now you're blocking it and you're never going to use that. And so for a company like them, we need to make sure that in all the testimonials, the copy, like the main thing on their website is we talk about like design focused remodeling, like functionality focused designs that really solve your deeper problem. Not just, hey, we're going to do whatever you want, but like we're going to actually go in, take the extra steps to diagnose what are you really dealing with and what are the real steps to take to fix that. And so that's their differentiating factor, as opposed to somebody that can come in and be like, maybe it's even somebody that makes pretty stuff, but they don't have that thought for the functionality behind it. And so then when people hire them, they want them to think like, oh, shoot, if I don't go with Rainey Blair, I might forget about something. And then I'll have this pretty looking remodel that I never use, or I never fully get my money's worth out of. And so then you switch the question in their head of who's the lowest price to like, well, if I don't go with Rainey Blair, I might be missing out on functionality of my space.
Right.
So that, yeah.
So how do we go into emotion in the story without being like cheesy or fake?
Yeah.
That's a big issue I've heard from a lot of our clients while we were going out there is, they don't want to get emotional and they feel like they're being, cheesy.
Yeah.
And they're going to look a certain way.
Yeah, there's two things. Like you can think about it in your About Us videos, About Us page, or your client testimonials. I'll share a quick anecdote of my own.
Please do.
Yeah, please.
This is a podcast.
Yeah. I'll make it quick though.
Well, sure.
Yeah. So, man, we worked so long on these videos. There was a set of videos we did for the contractor fight. They hired us to make testimonials for the fight, their group.
Yeah.
And so we flew out and did testimonials with contractors who had joined and had some sort of transformation. And then at the end of creating all these, flying all over and making these, we displayed them on the big screen for everybody at the big conference. And one of the worst moments of my career
I like where this is going.
There was this moment in the video where something really heartfelt was happening. And Dane, the other videographer, and I were like, this is gonna get them. Like people are gonna be crying, or maybe they'll do like a gulp, or maybe they'll like wipe their eye. Maybe they'll it's gonna tug at the heartstrings.
It's gonna tug at the heartstrings, which is the greatest thing of any storyteller, when you can make someone feel an emotion.
Yeah, and we said this is it. The big moment's coming up, and right when we expect everybody to go like, we got scattered laughter throughout the crowd.
Oh no, I do remember that.
Oh man, that crushed me, dude.
It's like when you're trying to make like a horror film and everyone's just laughing at it.
Yeah, it was the exact opposite of what we wanted. And I was thrown by that for a bit. And I've seen it a few different times looking back now. But the reason that will happen is you overplayed your hand.
Yeah.
There is genuine, like there's part of it where you have to find the genuine emotion. Like if you're doing a testimonial, there is genuine emotion behind, I'm an empty nester, and I want to create a space to have my kids over that they enjoy being in, so I can see my grandkids. Like I want to have that time with them. Like that's a heavy pull, and you need to get to that. But what might happen is if you overplay your hand, you make them really dwell on it. Maybe you play the sad music, you have a sound effect, or you zoom in or something like that. Like if you overplay it, it comes across as like sarcasm and comedy.
Yeah.
And if maybe you scaled back the production a bit, if you just had him simply say the thing, that, from what I've seen, often speaks more than all of the bells and whistles that you put on it, because then you'll have a moment where you're like, dude, this is going to get him. This is so going to get him. And then it was just, man, that was humiliating. Everybody just laughing.
Yeah.
And nobody knew I made the video. I just slunk away and then sat in the corner. I specifically remember I looked out the window. I was like.
So you looked out the window and then there was rain coming down.
There was rain coming down.
Sad music played in your head.
Sad music played in my head, and I said, this is my life. What have I done?
And then the camera just slowly.
Credits.
It just jibs away.
It jibs away. And then there were credits. And it was a tragedy. Yeah. It wasn't a comedy. It was a tragedy of a story.
What a great ending. I would have watched that movie.
Yeah, and then the place blew up or something.
All right. So how do we balance the story with strategy then at that point too? So now we've talked about the emotion, strategy, because there still needs to be a strategy in that story, because this is marketing after all.
Yes.
Like it is your story. It is who you are. But at the end of the day, you're trying to sell something.
Yeah.
So what is that strategy?
Yeah. So a lot of times people get very caught up in the visual. Is you want the website to look pretty. You want the video to look pretty. You need everything to, like, you just look at it and you go, okay, yeah, that seems good. But the contents of it aren't functional. And so one of the things we found is, like, we'll go through and look at people's testimonials they've had other companies make, and they will look incredible. Like, it's not hard to find somebody that knows how to work a camera and make something look beautiful.
And again, I said it yesterday. I mean, cameras these days are almost working themselves.
Yeah. There are people way better than me at making something look pretty.
Yeah.
Like, not even some people, like probably most videographers who are really into this care more than me about making something look pretty.
100%. Yeah, I see some stuff out there and I'm just like, oh my God, what a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
But I have no interest in watching the rest of this because there's nothing else here.
Yeah, because
it looks pretty.
They'll take it, they'll have beautiful B-roll of a kitchen, which is just footage of the kitchen playing while somebody talks. They'll have beautiful footage of it, and then they'll just have it overlaid over 7 minutes of a client just listing questions in order of how they were asked. And so it's just random detail after random detail, and it's unfollowable.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a common thread, a common goal that you're guiding the viewer towards, it's unwatchable. Like the thing that needs to happen is somebody at the end of the video needs to think to themselves, or the page, whatever they're doing with your content, they need to think to themselves, like, this was a good use of my time. And if they don't, like, it doesn't reflect well on the company. And so basically, whether you're doing this yourself, you're hiring somebody, however it is, again, website, video, whatever, a single page on your website, you have to start with, who am I talking to? What is the one thing they need to get from this? Then how do I functionally carry that out? So then you go through and analyze all the different details of, is this contributing to that overall story? Is it taking away, or is it kind of just irrelevant? And sometimes it's like, I like this piece. Like, it's really cool how much they loved this specific thing we did. Like they mentioned this crew member and they really liked them. But if it doesn't fit with the overall story, it might just be detracting rather than helping.
Yeah. Yeah. The story, you don't want it to be disjointed for any reason just because you want to fit something in.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part about something I definitely struggle with editing, where it's like, man, I really loved this part, or I love this line, or I love what they're saying, but it does not bring us to the next part of the story. It
100%.
does not add anything to this video other than the fact that it sounds nice, or it's a cool thing, or this or that. And that's a really tough thing as an editor to, cut that.
Yeah.
But you have to. The story has to, every scene needs to add to that story.
Yeah. And so, and that's the I hope you take away from this conversation is that it's not just true with video. It's
everything.
You take that with your communication, your entire brand. Everything needs to build and be cohesive with each other. Otherwise, people get lost and they give up trying to follow you. Like then they don't know what to think about you. And again, they go back to that common denominator of price.
Yeah.
Like, so it's.
I mean, we see it even in like logo designs when people want to add a certain like icon into that logo. It's like, that doesn't add anything to your logo.
It's just going to distract.
Yeah. And they're like, but it looks really cool. It's like, awesome. But that doesn't make sense.
Like if you are trying to differentiate, this is a good example that like brings it back. It's the same thing as video. If your overall story is that you're the top kitchen remodeler, whatever, but you have a really, really nice age in place project that you did for like amazing couple, and the style's not quite right, but you are happy with it, and you really think like, I'm really proud of this project. It's not our traditional thing. It's like, you can be proud of that project, and maybe you have it on your website, but don't feature it as the biggest thing. Like that, you need to. In the same way in the video, we have to cut lines that we like because it doesn't align with the story. Same thing for your online presence. Like if something you're like, I personally love this, it's like, great. Do your ideal clients personally love it?
Does it resonate with them? Do they get it?
Yeah, because if not, you might be detracting from your overall value.
Yeah. Or you're spending time, energy, and money to create that thing, and people just overlook it. Yeah. Because they're just like, I don't know what that is. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah. And it's like, that's good that you love it and you can decide to do that, but you just have to have the sense to realize you're doing it at the cost of the company.
Yeah.
And if you're fine making that choice, nobody can stop you, but just make sure it's an informed decision, I guess.
Yeah. 100%. 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Genius.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's a great question. Moving on to how does CGN uses storytelling to attract premium clients, right? So what does storytelling actually, like, how do you change the way you do video in this sense for this storytelling?
Yeah. So one of the things I appreciate about our approach here is the fact that it's cohesive between the website branding, like getting the logo and your overall branding and colors, and then the video as well, is you can take the same message and have it echo through all those different channels. So I'd say like similar to the design build, like that Rainy Blair we were talking about, like
that Rainy Blair Weidman.
Rainy Blair Weidman.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Weidman.
Yeah. It's hard because when we first met him, it was just Rainy Blair.
Just Rainy Blair. Weidman hadn't been born yet.
Well, there is no partnership
They
between
had a
them.
merger.
Well, I think he said it was a partnership.
A partnership.
Yeah, partnership.
So with that example, they weren't just concerned about it looking nice, but there's functionality to it.
Yeah.
Same thing with that's how, at least how I think about how I do the projects for our clients is, that's great that this shot looks good, but does it solve your function of communicating with your ideal client? Same thing. That's really our ideology for the marketing. I know that's ours when we do video. I know that's especially web devs when they're creating the website as well. It's not just, can we make a pretty website? Can we have good photos? But is it communicating the right message to the right audience so that you're standing out?
Yeah. I know that's what we do in everything, because I mean, like when we started this, storytelling might be a buzzword, but there's a reason why it's a buzzword.
100%.
I mean, we've been telling stories since the dawn of humanity, right? So it makes sense that everything we see and do, it is all story. So how does story help contractors land those premium, like high-end clients?
Yeah, I think it's what we've been talking about. It's just that when you differentiate, you can stop competing on a price level and you separate yourself from the competition more.
Yeah.
You become kind of the only option. You put yourself in a market of one, so to speak.
So where is this heading? So what's next in the evolution of like storytelling for contractors?
Yeah, I mean, so nothing new under the sun, right? Like
what?
There's nothing new under the sun. Everything's staying.
Okay.
The tactics are staying the same. Like you can just simplify it down to understanding what story your client is already in and inserting yourself into that. The things that are changing is the methods. So obviously social media is getting bigger. People are consuming more information on social media. Honestly, people are finding information on ChatGPT now. So there's different methods.
Yeah, I use ChatGPT for a lot of search nowadays. For a lot of it's interesting.
Yeah, it's more conversational. So it's and so then that goes into updated copying your website. That's outside my wheelhouse. I think we have other podcasts with a good old P on that.
Yeah, P is Patrick for anyone else who's outside of CGN. And he did do a couple podcasts, and he is very eager to do more. So
yeah, he's our SEO specialist. But that's the thing, is then that plays into that. But from my perspective, video has never been cheaper or easier to get into. And so people are more likely to consume a story if they have to put in less effort for it. It's easier to watch a video than to read a story. And so
so number one way people consume content is through video.
Yeah, we're at that point now.
Yeah.
It's I heard it said maybe a couple of years ago, somebody was, I can't remember who said it now, but the idea is that since the time of before the printing press, the way you spread information was your word of mouth. Like,
you just yell it.
You just yell it loud. Yeah. Sometimes you get those like cone-shaped things, and you put it in front of your voice, and then you say, "Hey."
Yeah.
But most of the time, that's the way you would spread information. Is it would be word of mouth. Ever since the time of the printing press, that's when things switched, and the written word was now the fastest way to spread communication.
Yeah, it was.
Up until very recently, where now the spoken word has more reach again, because now we have video. Now people can just speak like a podcast. Like now this can reach more people than if we wrote it down and sent it out in an email or something. Like, for the first time in a long time, the spoken word is now more powerful and can reach more people than the written word. And so if
it also helps that everyone has a phone in their pocket.
100%.
They have access to the internet at all times of the day.
Yeah, well, they have a phone in their pocket, and they have a camera in their pocket, and they have a quality microphone in their pocket.
Yeah.
So now that everybody has access to that, and YouTube has made it super easy to share online videos and find it, and it's the second largest search engine in the universe.
In the universe.
That's
accurate. That's accurate.
So all of that in mind, you should be making video content. I'm not saying you have to hire CGN for video content. I'm saying you should be getting video content in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And when you're doing it, you need to make sure that you have a structured plan for it. You're not just getting pretty shots. You're not wasting your money getting tons of facts and having a 7-minute testimonial. You're getting a quick 90-second testimonial that targets your specific ideal client, hits the pain point that they want addressed, and then shows how your company can alleviate that. That's all you need to do. And you need to do it with at least high enough quality media that you make your work speak for itself, basically. Have a camera, have an audio equipment that is in alignment with the level of quality of work that you're doing. If you do that, you'll be A-okay, kid.
Stick around. That was a great wrap up of basically everything we've talked about.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, no, that was great. I'm complimenting you.
Yeah.
It's like you're really good at this.
Thank you.
So storytelling isn't a luxury, you know, it is your edge. So if you want to charge more, get higher end clients, and not just be another option, then your story needs to be explain your background and needs to be top notch. So, and that's essentially what we've talked about today. That's our podcast. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us on this for this show about storytelling. I thought it was great. Listener, did you think it was great? If you did, definitely leave a comment down below. Subscribe for more. Listen to the next show.
Yeah. I apologize. I was a little unhinged, but I hope the information was helpful.
I think the information was 100% helpful.
Good.